Hello, everybody. So, uh, I'm a bit sick right now, so bear with me here for a bit. I wanted to change up my format a bit, so I decided to provide some commentary besides just my gameplay. Now, what I've been working on, well, I'm still recovering from, I think it's a cold or a flu. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it's the Rona, but yeah. Anyway, this is Gates of Hell, as you might notice, but I've sort of taken the Valor mod and built this mod upon it, sort of. Although I think it's also compatible with the vanilla game as well, so you don't need Valor in order to play this mod. Anyway, as you can see, it's Combat of Heroes. The background. This is not going to be the final background. It's just something temporary right now. I couldn't get the other background to work for some reason, so this is gonna be it for now. Anyway, what this mod does is changes the menu. This set of gates of how you have Combat of Heroes, the title picture, whatever. As you might hear in the background, you have the Cup of Heroes main menu theme song playing. I've also replaced some of the other tracks from Gates of Hell's soundtrack with Company of Heroes. This tracks, soundtrack, whatever. Um, it's not finished. It's not complete yet. I'm going to do more work on it. Other than the cosmetical stuff, there's also voices from Company of Heroes 1 for the US, the American Army, and the British Army as well. Before they were using some sort of mix between Code 1, Code 2 voices and other random tracks, like sounds that I've never heard even before. Like, for example, I noticed that there's voices from Day of Defeat, the first one, and yeah, the rest maybe Call of Duty. I don't know, but I thought they really didn't have like any coherence, so I thought I should just replace all of them with Code One voices because I personally like you may call me biased, but I grew up with playing the game since 2006 when it released, and I've really fell in love with its voices and the soundtrack and everything. So it's just sort of um, a mod for nostalgia freaks like me. Anyway, moving on. I'm gonna show off the conquest campaign I have here for the US right now. As you can see, I've only really researched the tanks and the self-propelled artillery. Other than that, I haven't really touched the infantry. Now, this is my build, my personal build. I've based it on Sherman Jimbo's 76s, 76 guns, and 105s as well, and some trucks. This is two arty trucks to resupply ammunitions for the 105 Shermans, and one infantry truck just in case, I guess, to fill up the slots, the remaining slots, and the captured Panther that I got a few missions ago. I'll say. Now, with this build, I basically have armor and firepower superiority over Germany and Japan. Basically, they mostly have, Panzer threes, Panzer fours, Stugs, the Japanese tanks that I don't even know. And yeah, basically these things, the Sherman Jumbos, they bounce absolutely almost everything. They bounced 85s, 85s, 88s. Oh, this thing took a direct hit to the star here. Okay. 88, 75s, whatever, even the heavy calibers, like pretty much everything from the front. It has 178 millimeters from the front. This is the front. The gun mantle is, I think that's the 175 millimeters actually. 78 millimeters, yeah. The gun mantlet here, pretty thick. This should be 4 inches, so 100 millimeters sloped at 45 degrees would mean effectively around 180 millimeters of armor thickness. So yeah, nothing can, well, pretty much nothing can penetrate this. Almost, I guess. Side is gonna be 3 inches, 76 millimeters. So, I mean, if the enemy is shooting you from like this angle, it probably will bounce. If they're directly shooting you from this angle, though, like from here, from a flat angle, depending on the shell type, the distance, and the gun, it might penetrate. So an 88 or 75 mil will penetrate this. This, I don't think so. The turret, I think, is better armored, but this is 3 inches. This is 76 millimeters. It's not gonna stop the bigger calibers. So yeah, try and angle your tank a bit like this. So the enemy is like, if the enemy is here, it needs to fire here, like not at a flat angle. Uh, Most of you probably watching this already know this from War Thunder and Common Sense, tank Common Sense, so forth. But I'm just saying it, just in case anyway. Uh, Moving on. Now this is my support unit. I had Calliopes before, but they're 25 slots or whatever you want to call them, and they're a bit expensive. And the 105 is, yeah, as you can see, a bit more manageable. The other thing is the Calliope is kind of hard to manage because it doesn't automatically fire its main gun like uh the 75 here. It doesn't automatically fire it because it's linked to the rocket. So by default, it comes on the field with hold fire enabled. So you need to either put it on return fire or free fire at will, which is kind of problematic for this tank because of its large spread. So you will get a lot of friendly fire, even at close range. The rockets kind of go in random directions. So anything in front of this is at risk, and I don't want to really run that risk when I have tanks. And this thing is disabled two or three of my Jumbos already, so I just said no and fuck it, and got the 105s instead. Now the 105, it comes with 52 HE shells, 105 52 shells, um, 105 millimeter shells. So you have 52 of those. You have 6 or 8 other type of HE shell. I'm not sure what exactly it was off the top of my head right now. But this is a pretty good support unit, tank, whatever you want to call it, because it's armored. It has a turret. Obviously, most of the assault guns, especially the German ones, the Stach, the Brumbar, whatever, they come without a turret. So if they get tracked, they're basically sitting ducks. Well, this can rotate and fire it in all directions basically. Ammunition, like I said, is pretty good for it. Um, yeah, it has a 50 cal as well, which you can dismount with infantry. You can pick it up with a infantry guy, and it's kind of funny how they carry it around like Rambo and shoot it. They're pretty slow with it, but yeah, they can do it if it's needed. Armor is not a lot. It's 90 millimeters, same as the standard Sherman. Hold up, let me just yeah, this is the EG8. So yeah, 90 millimeters. Croc as well. I'll get to the Croc in a bit, which I use as well. So yeah, this thing can also take on tanks, which is pretty good. It can stun them. It can kill a lot of infantry. So if you have an infantry problem, this thing is pretty fucking good for that as well. Overall, great support unit. It was three. It, does it say here? It was 3 points, by the way. So it's the most expensive out of these here, I think. The but I'm not sure if the EG8 was 3 or 4 points. I think it was 3 or 4. I'm not sure, but this was three. The 105 is 3 points, so just keep that in mind. It might change because the mod is getting updated, obviously. So yeah, in the future it might be changed. Anyway, I highly recommend this tank as a support unit because again, armor. Uh, it's not got more range than a tank, so it has 200 meters of range or whatever. It's the same as the other tanks, but it has a hell of a lot of punch. Sure, good mobility, good armor. Ammo is pretty good. It can take up. It can take on a lot of targets. You don't. It can also friendly fire like the Calliope, but if you're a bit more careful with it, you just put it behind your jumbos, for example, like I do. You're gonna be pretty good with it. It's not gonna damage your stuff as much as the enemy, basically. Unlike the Calliope, which again, large spread, so not so good. So the Croc, I'm just gonna mention it. Croc is again 20 points here. I don't know what they're called. A bit cheaper. Now ammunition, it's got 200 barrels of fuel, I believe. So 2 by 200 200 barrels of fuel. So or canister, whatever you want to call it. It's it doesn't burst fire. You can automatically just tell it to fire, and it's gonna waste a lot of ammunition. It doesn't have a coaxial machine gun, by the way. This is the flamethrower is the coaxial machine gun, and yeah, I sort of uses it as a coaxial machine gun, just non-stop firing. But it retains the main cannon, which is not a feature in some tank like the Flampanzer Drei, the Panzer III with the flamethrower. So this is pretty good. It doesn't have a lot of armor though. Again, it's 90 millimeters at the most. So and the problem is that with the flamethrower, in order to be effective, you gotta close the distance. So this thing will die a lot. And coupled with like low ammunition for me, is the reason why I just chose the 105 instead of it for a support type Sherman or tank. And yeah, so it's pretty good. But in the earlier game where the Germans don't really have good AT options, later it becomes just impossible to use this thing when you have Panthers, Tigers. I even fought a King Tiger a few games ago. Or on the defense, it's not so good, sadly. Now, on the topic of the Pershing and why I have it unlocked but I don't use it. First off, Obviously, I'm gonna mention the pretty obvious stuff. The price and the points. Yeah, for this thing, you you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of slots for units. So that's the first main reason. The other thing is it doesn't have a lot of armor. This is 102 millimeters, and it's kind of sloped, but not as much as a not as much as a jumbo. So it's not gonna bounce that much. Plus, the gun atlas is again it kind of has a shot that can deflect the rounds into the hull. Shot trap. It's what it's called. And the Panther also has this. Hold up, let me. So this, you can see that the Panther also has this. And again, a shot going here, if it bounces, it's going to go on the hull. So into the hull. The Germans, how they fix this is by having a chin here on the Alt G. So just keep that in mind for the Panther and the Pershing. So the gun is pretty good. It's the 90 millimeter. It's also found on the M36 Jackson or Slugger, and it's probably one of it's the best AT gun that the US have on their vehicles can have. Um, but the rest of the tank is, at least in my preference, not so good. The thing with me is that I need a lot of armor, and this thing just does not provide it. And I've also seen this in other games as well. Meta War, Salt Squad 2 comes to mind. Company of Heroes. Um, and yeah, basically that's pretty much why I prefer the Jumbo over the Pershing. Of course, I'm not saying that my opinion is correct or the best or whatever. I'm just saying that what I think of it basically. Anyway, lastly, I'm gonna look at the arty. So again, I chose the 105 Sherman as a support solely because of the armor, and well, not because of the armor, just solely, but a combination of things that make it really good as a support tank. I was initially thinking of going with priests because it has a 50 cal as well, so it can defend itself from basic infantry at the very least. I'm not sure about the ammo, but I have the 2 ammo truck, so that's not much of an issue with it. It's long range. Uh, yeah, the 25 points though, it kind of discouraged me from using it. Then you have this thing which I also thought about using, but again, there's no way for it to defend itself. And my idea is like a sort of mechanized, self-sufficient force where it can bring itself its own support. Again, for me, it's the 105 Sherman with armor. This thing does not have a lot of armor. So does the priest. So when I'm looking at a support unit, I also want armor on it. And these things, well, good, they just don't have that. And if I need to babysit them as well, then kind of losing points. So I believe this gun is the same as the 105, but I'm not sure. So one way we can see if that's true is actually it says it. Never mind. So it's not the same, but it's stat wise, it's pretty close. Yeah. So the difference is that the Sherman, I mean the guns, uh, the range, I guess. Otherwise, it looks like it's the same gun, except for the name. Yep, penetration wise, it looks like the same gun. The range is just different. So, yeah, I kind of prefer the 105 Sherman. It can defend itself, it can attack tanks if needed. And the thing about Conquest in Call to Arms or Gates of Hell is that sometimes you run low on tanks and infantry. So having something with armor that you can actually bring up and keep fighting is, at least to me, is something mandatory. So I can bring this thing up even though it's not very heavily armored. It's got enough armor to survive most light AT shit. Well, this thing can only defend itself against infantry and maybe light vehicles with the 50 caliber, but that's about it. It does not have any direct fire capabilities. Only indirect fire, very long range. Yes, it's an already piece. It's a self-propelled artillery. Yes. Um, but yeah, it's lacking in the armor department, which again, pretty crucial for me at least. I'm not sure if other people agree or what their playstyle is, but yeah, this is me. Uh, Also, I forgot to mention my mod, this mod, the Community of Heroes mod for Valor, and again, not just I think it's also compatible with vanilla game as well. You just don't really have the US stuff, I guess. You just have the main menu, the soundtrack, and you don't have the rest of the stuff. Um, Another thing is I gave the rifleman um section here an LMG gunner instead. This guy is armed with the M1919A6 LMG light machine gun, and this is not available by default in the mod for some reason. I'm not sure why. It also comes with a box instead of a belt, which it looks really weird, but it's how the mod was done, the model or whatever. So that's on the developers of the mod. It's not me. But other than that, I think it's needed for the US. Like it's needed to have LMG sort of section. The other things I'm thinking of doing that are gameplay wise different from vanilla mod is adding a half track M3 half track and an M2 half track, because by default you don't actually have them. So as you can see, you don't have any half tracks or here. These are the arty pieces, and you directly have the armored cars. You don't have any half tracks, anything. You only, well, I mean, this is a half track, but it's like a support half track. You don't have to infantry support half track that can carry infantry, which is the point of the half track in the first place. And what I did was capture a few German half tracks and use them instead, but they kind of died, so I kind of stopped using infantry and half tracks entirely because I decided that infantry is too fragile and dies too easily, so I just switched to an all tank sort of build here, as you can see. I only need the planes, but yeah, that's about it. Need to unlock them. Also, I want to add armored infantry battle group or whatever, like the Germans have with their half track with the Panzer Grenadiers, armored riflemen, with an M3 half track and a squad of, well, armored riflemen basically. Yeah, that's about it. And yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, the voices. I'm not sure if I mentioned this. I've added again. I've added the US and British voices from Code 1 here. I'm planning on adding the German voices as well. They're just a lot more work, so I've kind of held back on them. But one day I'm thinking of adding it to the mod as well. Uh, Valor features the Japanese as well, the Poles, the French. However, I don't really have access to any of those other voices, so uh, yeah, I'm not gonna bother with those because I don't have the localizations for those. And yeah, I'm only focusing on the British and the US with this mod and the Germans in the future. But for now, that this is it basically. Yeah, so this is a bit. Well, it's not floating, but it's kind of floating. It's yeah. But otherwise, the Valor mod developers have done a really great job. If you ask me, I really like this mod. It inspired me to. I started this mod like the Computer Heroes mod a few months back, but because it was only Germany really from the original Computer Heroes, I kind of uh, fell off from making it until now, and now with the U.S. and the British being here, which are two other armies from the original Computer Heroes, I decided to finally make this mod. Anyway, let's get into a match here, so we can show off the battle group for a bit. Uh, so what do I need actually? Kind of stay away. But wait. These are the Japanese. They're just sitting here with the badge. Kind of stay away from the 3 stars because I once played in the vanilla game against the 3 star Soviet thing, the mission, and I was faced with 2 KVs, which really fucked up my tigers. Like I couldn't pen the KV2 with anything really, and they just shot my tigers point blank. Actually ruined me economically. So yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna do. What do I do? What do I do? So this gives me a medic thing. 1 point. I kind of don't want to fight in the snow, so I'm just gonna take this. So yeah, okay. And generally, what I suggest you do is because this is on heroic, by the way, and fog of war is also on, as you've probably noticed already from my previous videos. Uh, Take the lesser, the 1 star missions and work your way up until you can, feel confident enough with your army composition, like I am right now, to fight the 2 and 3 star missions. I'm just saying this because a lot of people think, oh, I'm God, I can do whatever. I have experience from other RTS games, like I did basically, and you get just completely fucking wrecked because you're just not prepared. And here right now, I believe I'm sort of better prepared than what I was when I was facing the 2 KV KV mission, like I said. Anyway, let's start. Um, so what I do with the start of a mission is usually call in the arty first, obviously, but because I don't have any arty right now, uh, I'm not sure actually if I should just get the battle group with the 105 or I have two battle groups with the 105 Shermans and or the last one with the two Jumbos and the Panther. I guess let's go with this one so I can showcase the. Yeah, I can just get the other ones. Yeah. So 105. What it does, how it does it, how effective it is, and so forth. As you can see, my 105 here is pretty good, pretty veteran. Unlike actually, I bought this tank way later, and it has almost as much as kills as this thing. And this thing I've had probably, well, maybe not the beginning because I kind of bought and I lost some jumbos and then I bought more and yeah. Anyway, let's call in the other battle group. Also, what I do to save the commanders, the tank commanders, is close the hatches because they don't have any gun shields and they die pretty fucking easily on these machine guns. So yeah, it's just what I do. You lose a bit of visibility, but otherwise your guys just die and you're not doing anything. Anyway, so let's go here. What I usually do is bring up the jumbos first, and then the Panther and the 105s. Reason being that the Panther has weaker side armor, and the jumbo has better side armor. Panther has 40 millimeters, I believe. Jumbo has 376 millimeters on the sides. So I make third battle group with the jumbo. Jumbos with the 105. I mean, jumbos are battle group 2. Panther is usually battle group 1. Now I'm getting a bit close to the building here, but I'm planning on demolishing with the 105. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Now you gotta be careful not to hit your own tank, obviously. That didn't really work out. I'm gonna pull my Jimbo a bit back. Also, the Panther has a better gun than the Jimbo. Just keep that in mind. The Panther 75, the long barrel, is a lot better than the Jimbo 36 gun. So yeah, what you need to do with tanks is approach objectives from the clearest part possible, which I'm not really doing right now. The problem here is that if I go through here, which is the clearest part, I risk being shot from the other side of the lake or the river here, whatever this thing is, from panthers, tigers, you name it, whatever. So what I'm gonna do instead is just shell. F6 is attack rounds. I'm just gonna shell the German positions here with the jumbo. I'm gonna bring up the other jumbo as well. gonna reconniter. Don't know how you pronounce that. I'm just fucking sick. Gonna do some reconnaissance with my Jumbo, and I know it's not really a recon tank, but I don't really have much of a choice. The tank voices in the game, in the Valour mod, by the way, are from Thunder Heroes 1. I didn't touch those. The infantry ones and the cannon ones are not for some reason, however. Actually, what I'm probably gonna do is just move all my tanks from here and then advance. Yeah. This side is a bit better, it looks like. I usually pick the most open objective to assault first because they're easier to defend with tanks. Tanks obviously are not so good in urban or jungle environments, that sort of thing. So yeah, try and pick your battles. Basically everything else, deal with arty, flamethrowers, whatever. Just don't get too close because infantry AT, especially the German ones, you know, Panzerfaust, Panzerschrecks, AT grenades, whatever, they can really fuck you up. Oh, especially the Japanese. If you're playing allies, do not go near Japanese infantry. They have suicide charge AT shit that can really one shot your tank basically. I don't even know how that I think it's the Anyway, what you want to do with tanks is present a line like this. So the enemy doesn't really have much of an option. He needs to choose one tank, and while your line can focus on one tank. So again, fire superiority. This is also something that you can apply in other games, like Hella Blues, Company of Heroes, Foxhole, whatever. You know, any really tank. I think that's a German from here somewhere. Yep. There you go. Okay, so again, the mortar, it's shot directly, so you can see the head here. 3 inches is not a lot, and if the shell hits directly, like flat here, your tank is gonna be penetrated. It doesn't matter how much armor you have here. If it's flat, it's gonna get penned. So that's again why you want to angle it and divide the front more. So this is my mistake. I didn't really account for the bridge here, or actually the road having a direct like shot on the flat armor of my tank. So yeah, that's my tactical mistake. Luckily for us, the jumbos are really survivable. You will not lose that many jumbos as much as other tanks. Like they can get penetrated, but they will not die as much as other tanks. So you can keep repairing them. It's a lot cheaper, and that's why I really just love them. They're really versatile in that role. Anyway, another thing again, sandwich the tanks with the less armor on the side between the jumbos. So again, the Panther has low armor on the side, so you sandwich it between the jumbos. Same with the 105s. If you want the 105 to be in between two tanks, like if you want the 105 to be on the line, sandwich it between two tanks, preferably jumbos or Pershings or whatever that has more armor on it than the 105. Yeah, that's basically it. Move up here a bit, secure the perimeter. So keep in mind, the Panther is a lot faster than the Jumbo. Jumbo has 36 speed, Panther has 46. It's a speed difference of 10. So yeah. I don't know what the AI is doing. Alright. Also, when you're repairing vehicles on the line, you can try and sandwich it again to provide cover for the crew. What is this? Panther 2, okay. So, the other thing that I do is leave one or two tanks to the fence. So, what do I do here? So I'm gonna do this because we have 4 points. I have not a lot of tanks, so you want again fire superiority. I'm gonna put it here. No, actually. I'm gonna put it like this, so it can get some cover from the buildings here. Shot blockers, whatever. Just put something on your flanks to protect the weaker part of the tank. I advise against concealment. Concealment means, you know, bushes, trees, whatever. They can easily get shots on you that way, and you can, like, a tank is a tank. You're not gonna be able to camouflage it if enough effectively to, you know, with this bush, for example. You can't just put a tank in this bush and expect the enemy not to see it. The enemy will see it, and you're better off with cover than with concealment. Okay, so here are the trucks. Again, trucks go to the 76s, the jumbos, and they resupply the ammo. By the way, another thing about the trucks, they are a lot more cheaper than resupplying through the menu. So resupplying in the game through the trucks is a lot more cost effective, in my opinion at least. Well, not just my opinion, it's a fact. I've actually, you know, tested it out, and you can also do that as well. Anyway, demos. I mean the 105s. Yeah, 45 rounds, 39. Again, they have 53, 52 in the inventory and one loaded, so 53 in total. Pretty good. And then you have this. Oh, it's a heat round, so this is anti-tank. So if you see something like a tiger, a king tiger, a panther. Frontally, you maybe you can maybe use the heat and get lucky and get a lucky shot. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm gonna go with the trucks here. Go with the tanks here. So what I'm gonna do is go through this crossing here, go here, take this objective, then go here, and then go here. Or actually, maybe because that way I'm gonna get my flank exposed. Although there's no other real way for me to get to this point, so I'm not sure. Maybe if I actually, is this a crossing? Can I cross here? Yeah, I might just go here first. Actually, go here first because I'm already here. Because so you need to plan your route for the tanks because they have fuel as well. So you're expanding fuel, and the good thing with the jumbos are that they're sort of economical on the fuel instead of something like a tiger or a panther, for example, which they're more fuel guzzlers while having less armor. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So already infantry trucks look the same, but they're not. Just keep that in mind. And tank is getting reloaded. It's ammo reloading. Yeah. When it's done reloading, you can see that this starts to gain numbers instead of losing them. So that's stop reloading now. Yep, 52 shells, one loaded. And same thing here. Okay, so yeah, just plan your routes. That's all. Plan your routes. Make sure you cover the expected. So I'm not really expecting the enemies to come through here, although it may be possible for them to come through here. But I'm expecting them to come through here and here. Panzer IV Alpha H. You can do this as well. Press R, and you can quickly rotate all of your tanks to face towards the enemy target or whatever. And as you can see, the 76 guns, the 76mm guns of the tanks, the US tanks are, I mean, they're not an 88 or a Panther 75, but they're still pretty good, regardless. I mean, they're not gonna take out a King Tiger, for example, which I've tried. You can disable it, but you cannot kill it. However, the same is sort of true for your tank. The Jumbo has a lot of armor, frontal armor, so you're going to be hard pressed to somehow penetrate a Jumbo from the front, with on whatever side you are. German guns at the most, the King Tiger and the Yak Panther 88s will maybe penetrate the front of the Jumbo, but that's about it. Okay, let's move up these tanks now. I'm usually a bit faster, but because I'm also talking, it's a bit distracting. I'm trying to explain what I'm doing while also doing it, which, again, because I'm testing this new format, I'm not really used to it. And that's mine. Oh no, that's a... It's a stupa. Yeah, I didn't see that, so I kind of paid the price. So again, you can see the range of these things. It's 200. No. Okay, so it's 190, and this is 220. So the 105s have less range than the regular Jumbos, which, I mean, at 76, which is interesting. But yeah, regardless, they're still pretty good. I mean, they have turrets, so they can rotate even if the tracks are down. Unlike this, what is it? Yeah, this Jufa, the Brungbar. This thing has a fixed gun, even though it has a big gun. Yeah, it doesn't have a turret. If the tracks are down, it's crippled. It cannot turn and face the gun towards you, so you're kind of safe from it, sort of. Now, what I usually do also is dismount these trucks and use the infantry inside as, you know, capturing fort. They can, regardless, like the arty trucks here, they can still resupply your tanks regardless if there's infantry in them or not. So yeah, pretty good. Anyway, let's move up some more tanks here. Crossing. By the way, tank crews repair faster than infantry, so if you need to repair a tank, even if it's enemy, to capture it, I suggest you use tank crews. It's going to be a lot faster than using regular infantry, like rifles, for example. They have this specialization, which is, you know, better, like mechanical specialization, which is better at repairing vehicles than regular. Press the wrong button here. Okay, that's a Yak Panther. Yep, this is what I'm telling. It was saying about telling about whatever. This thing's gun is pretty good, but as you can see, it's if you take out the gun and the tracks, it's pretty critical basically. Let's go. Yeah, this Hunter here. I might be able to capture this actually. There you go. Yeah, the 105 is not gonna do much against heavy armor. Again, unless you get lucky with the heat rounds. But if it comes down to it, you absolutely need to use your support unit, that is the 105 Shermans. You can do so. No, I'm gonna move my Jumbo here. Want to check out the Panther, if I can capture it or not. I think it's dead though. I can get this Jumbo back up. So this thing is dead. Shift R, by the way, is the short hotkey for the repair. So if you don't want to go through, what is it? There was a tank. Anyway, yeah, if you don't want to go through this menu with the mouse, just press Shift R and you can hotkey it basically. Anyway, what I usually do is take one crew, the rest of the tanks, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Get the other tanks up. So the Yak Panther is dead. Nothing I can do about it. So I'm just gonna try and capture the Yak Panther. Do this. So you want to cover again. You want to cover tanks that you want to repair or cover whatever. With your more meteor tanks. In this case, the jumbo. Just gonna repair the head turret, the Yak Panther 38T. And you want to get as much enemy tanks as possible. You want to capture them as much as possible because they yield a lot of good points when you sell them off. So I'm pressing Alt, which is a stop key, apparently. So that's why they're stopping. When I have them selected, it's my push to talk key. Okay, that's Panther. That's a Panther. Okay. We wanna try and aim for the lower places here. Okay. Throw the pin. Or actually, the tracks. Tracks are so good. Yep, there you go. So it's effectively immobilized right now. Cannot move. Okay, we're gonna try and use the shot blocker here. The shot trap and the man light. So I can maybe show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so I couldn't really use the shot trap, but still, I disabled the turret basically. The turret is dead. Tried shooting at this jumbo, but it was sort of at an angle, so it couldn't really pan. Move up a bit here. So they killed my tank crew. Yes, they did. What killed my carbine? Carabiner. Okay, so I have infantry somewhere around here. Yeah, this guy was at the wrong spot. And there's a yeah, this is why I hate like forested areas, you know, stuff like that. They just provide good cover for infantry, which you don't want for enemy infantry, that is. Also, double clicking for the infantry makes them run, as you can see here, which is pretty useful when you want to get them to a better spot. However, just keep in mind they have stamina and they get tired, so yeah. Trying to get him on a better angle so he doesn't get shot as easily. I guess that's not gonna work. So from what I've found, you can mount the tank after the first repair on it. So if it's like disabled like this, not completely dead like the Yak Panther is, you can just get in it and but your guys need to stay in order to capture it. So if it doesn't stay in, if you just quickly hop in and then out, it's not gonna register as a capture vehicle. Your guy needs to stay in. So it continues. Yeah, fucking just download it. Engine 4 and Osage. Oh, so your tanks are sometimes blind. It's a Panzer 3 AM. Never mind. Okay, so I got your attention. Good. Disable the turret real quick. No. Okay. Actually, can I disable the gun? Okay, so I'm not sure if the gun is disabled though. Okay, so I think the gun is disabled now. The engine is still running though, you can okay, now it's dead. I mean the engine is dead, that is. Okay, the gun is still operable. And there we go. So yeah, again, like in War Thunder, for example, or Hell Let Loose, or actually Hell Let Loose is maybe, I'm not sure if it's a good example, but Postscriptum, for example, it has components that you can target, like the ammunition rack, engine, turret ring, whatever. Have I captured this? No. So I'm digressing here, but for the tanks, you just need for the tanks, there's weak spots that you can target on each tank. You just gotta sort of know where exactly. Okay, so the headers tracks are dead, and I kind of don't want to keep wasting repair things on it, or repair kits, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. Here, now, they have infantry in the trenches. I know this because I have 6 guys, no 5. Okay, so I have 6 guys now in the cap point. You can see the white lines here, right? I saw a vehicle moving there. And they're not capturing. So the more infantry you have, the faster you should be able to capture whatever. And you cannot really do that right here. So obviously there's a problem, an infantry problem. Now what I'm gonna do is bring up my 105s. Actually, no, I'm just gonna bring up here. This Jimbo stays. Actually, I'm gonna move up this Jimbo just to provide some cover as well. These tanks, I don't want to move them up actually. I want to capture these guys if possible. Only so what I'm gonna do is one bad thing about the US tanks is they're not as thick as the German ones. So for example, a Tiger can fit like 4 guys behind it. A Jumbo or a Sherman can only fit like 3 barely, 2 is the most optimal, but a Tiger at the back can cover have room for 4. So yeah, you cannot really do as effectively the infantry move up tactics. So for example, what I do with German tanks when I have the Tigers, I do this. Okay. It's gonna die, okay. So I have one tank and then I'm using it as cover for infantry, and then I'm gonna move up with the other tank. So yeah, infantry in trenches, buildings, urban environments, forests, whatever, you need to bait them in it with tanks. Bait them out actually, sorry. Okay, so yeah. And there you go. I baited them out. And now I could start capturing. They basically exposed their own position, so yeah, they kind of fucked themselves over. Anyway, the blue vehicles obviously are still alive. They're just disabled that you can capture them. Which I'm gonna do. Don't tell me that the tiger. Okay, it's not a tiger. Good.
Yes, sir!
Okay, so the turret is disabled because it's not turning, and he's just suicide charging. Yeah, he's basically panicking right now, and yeah. By the way, this game features this inertia where the tanks can get their tracks or the engine disabled and whatever. They will keep going. This is not like a bug or whatever. This is actually them having speed. Actually, I think traction number. So yeah, this is a bug. But you've seen it in in my other videos as well. The tank just keeps going a few feet, you know, a few meters, even though it has this shit disabled. So it's actually pretty good for us. We can just capture it right now. See, I'm just gonna, yeah, this is better for us actually. One bug in our sort of advantage. Fucking one. So, where's a panther actually? I think I disabled it somewhere around here, no? Okay, so they shot my guy, which was trying to repair here. Okay, it's not good. Wait for this Lux to get prepared, and then I'm gonna move up. Actually, I'm just gonna move up with these guys. So as soon as I get these tanks repaired, I'm gonna move two Jumbos back, and I'm gonna start assaulting this. Or actually, I should. I hear a tank. Yeah, you can hear the engine here. Yeah. Yep. Pretty much. I really love the effects in this game. Like, when I was playing with the Germans in the Valour game, I most often than not, like, basically tore the turret off of a T-34. It was like a really giant explosion with where the ammunition cooks off. It was really fucking nice. It's what sold me to the game, basically. I just know, you know, this is something I want to see and play with, you know, do whatever.
Yes, sir.
It was such a nice fucking experience. So what I'm gonna do is move this infantry. Okay, so this thing's tracks is fucked. So okay, I'm gonna cover it basically with my 2 tanks that I leave per point. So 1 or 2 tanks per point again. Cover it and yeah. Here I'm gonna do a little exception, however, and repair the tank with my infantry because I don't want to risk my crews again. And once this is repaired, I'm gonna move this jumbo back because it also has fewer crew. This thing's engine is fucked, right? Okay, no, it's not. Okay, that's good. It's gonna move it over here. Okay, the optics are fucked. That's why it doesn't have sight around it. That's good enough. For this, what is this? Okay, I'm looking for a tiger. I want to capture a tiger. I love tigers. Okay, so they're perfect infantry support basically. Can I actually? Okay, so sometimes you have the option to crew these, even without repairing them, but I guess not. So the 221 is fucked, but I can repair the armored car, the other armored car, which is pretty good. I'm gonna do that.
Yes, sir.
Connect. Okay. Okay, I'm just trying not to waste, that's all. Repair kits are really hard to come by when you're like at the last, you know, tank, weapon, gun, infantry, whatever, so. I felt to like my last repair kit and I just don't wanna have a repeat of that, so I just try to save whatever I can. Okay, so this should be repaired now, right?
Don't think this follow fucking orders. Axis in gear, let's move.
Okay, so the tracks are dead, okay. Yeah, I mean, if you can repair the engine, then that's good, but if not, then fuck it. Okay, so I'm gonna cover that guy now. This Sherman I'm gonna move back. I'm gonna leave this tank. I'm gonna move this tank here instead. Okay, so before you move the other Sherman, make sure you have, I mean, one tank. Make sure you have another tank covering him. So tanks work best in pairs, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. one covers the other, and then they move up like the infantry thing I showed here. You know, one tank has the infantry, the other tank moves up. Infantry moves up to the one tank, then the other tank moves up, then the infantry. Yeah, so you basically have it's most effective with 4-man squads for the Germans. You just have a machine gunner or RPG or rifle grenadier, whatever. Like 4 guys basically, 4 guys. One behind the tiger, other tiger moves up. Infantry move behind the other tiger, then the first tiger moves up, then the infantry move up behind that tiger, and that sort of thing. Can I get this thing to move? Okay, I can. Yes, I can. Alright, that's good. Actually, they're the same tanks. So, I mean, same pronoun. This has a little bit less bet though. Sometimes when the tanks start acting dumb, I just take control of them myself. So yeah. Here I want to protect the engine because obviously, you know, so it doesn't blow up. And hopefully this Sherman protects this Sherman's engine. And same here. Actually, this Sherman protects the side of this Sherman from this side.
Yes, sir. Don't think just follow fucking orders.
Okay, so the Panther revealed itself finally. It's not dead yet.
Get those dicks swinging. Move, move.
Also, take the ammo. That's what I recommend. From the tanks that you're gonna sell after the game, take the ammo. Put them in right now as well. You don't want to waste anything, basically. So, yeah. Also, by the way, I forgot to mention, infantry and tanks can capture. So, even though the tanks themselves cannot capture points, infantry and the tanks can capture for some reason. I don't know how it works exactly, but that's what I've noticed at least. Anyway, I need to move up here. I thought I told this guy to repair the tracks, but he does not. Am I gonna keep going up here? Train, okay. I'm mostly after the repair kits and the ammunition because I use a German MGs. I capture them. They're pretty good for infantry. So yeah, more ammo the better. But it's shallow enough for us to cross, which is good. Or is it? It is, right? Should be. I think so, at least. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know why this panther just keeps popping up and like keeps disappearing for some fucking reason. What is this, by the way? It's a Panzer III. Okay, maybe we can. No, actually, I'm not sure. Maybe we can stop it. Okay. Okay, that's a Yak Panther. It's bad. What I suggest you do is load HVAP, the special rounds that you have a few of, and try and aim. If you're facing a King Tiger, a Tiger, Panther, Yak Panther, like I am right now, that's the best thing you can do, and just pray. Hope to God that you can get a lucky shot, basically.
Achtung, Feindpanzer!
I'm using one of the jumbos as bait, so yeah, hopefully I can get this motherfucker.
Wo kommt der denn her?
Okay, I'm just gonna go for the tracks.
Die Ketten sind im Eimer! Wo kommt der denn her? Den Rechtsschützen angreifen! Wir haben unser
Okay,
Geschütz
so the
getroffen!
gun, if you can get the tracks, get the gun,
Greift an! Wir
or
haben einen
vice
Vorteil!
versa. Just try and disable it. If it's a cripple, then it cannot really do anything against you. The AI doesn't really repair its shit for some reason. Okay, so that tank is effectively a goner. And just slowly move up. That's what I do, especially on heroic. I mean, you don't really have much of an option, you know. Just gotta slowly grind away. So that was the bad. Yeah, the 105. They're doing their job, but it's still close, which is not so good. We're gonna back up with this guy, then we're gonna go through here, left side, so we can try and flank around a bit. You usually want to reverse more, so you're out of the kill zone. Right now, if they have a tank, they can. Please don't flip it. They can shoot me in the side or the ass. So yeah, not so good. Okay, I need more infantry though. So. Yeah, I try and use just use skeleton crews for the tanks. They'll be fine. Like these two defending tanks, for example, like they're not seeing a much action, so two guys in each one should be. It's not enough, but it should technically be enough. What I don't understand is if this tank is operable. However, not sure if I want to capture it if possible. Actually, can I? Yeah, it's repairable. Maybe I can try and capture. I'm not sure. We'll see. Okay, so we're gonna shell. Yeah, we're gonna shell a bit here because we don't see shit right now. Another Panther should be. Like I said, weak side armor. Like the Panther, this is why I don't really like the tank, even though it's like the frontal armor is amazing. It's better than the Tiger for sure. The gun is better a bit at penetration, though the HE has less propellant, so it's not as good. However, the side armor is really what, and the speed as well. The speed is better, price is better, cheaper. But the side armor, the shot trap on the gun mantlet, and yeah, it's what really fails the tank for me. I need better armor. Like I need better armor even on the side. Again, 80 mils are not much when flat, but it's better than 40 mils. And yeah. But they catch a good price. If you can capture it, you can sell it for a very good price. Told you to move there. I think I told you to move there, but I guess not. Okay, so this tank. You just gotta inch slowly forward, that's all. Just gotta inch forward. So maybe I should just put the Panther in here, I'm not sure. Right side, yeah, right track spot. Yeah, it's still good on that one. To get the track up. I'm fighting an uphill battle here, literally, so I kind of need to work a bit differently. Lift up that tank. Yeah, use any cover. For example, when I'm moving my tank here, I'm gonna use this carcass as my flank guard on the right. Same with, oh boy. Oh shit. Okay. Same with this tank that I'm using right now. So where it is. Too bad for the Stuka, but I guess you got a lucky shot on it somehow. Oh well.
Don't think this follow fucking order.
Oh, I won. Okay. Well, I couldn't capture the points, but I guess that's still good. I can capture all the tanks that I wanted out of it anyway, but whatever. Yeah, that's basically it. So we're gonna see how much the tanks that I captured fetch. Yeah, heroic. It's pretty good. Right. So pretty good in terms of resources. Now, uh, okay. So watch the total. Like individually, these tanks don't really fetch such a good price, but when you sum it up, so I'm like throwing it out to for like 4,000, let's say, and this is three three 3,400. Yeah. So the ammunition didn't go up, but this did. Okay, so this, and I kind of like the Panzer IV Aus H because of the. Never mind, this is not an Aus H. I got confused. Uh, the Aus H, which is very similar to this, has the side skirts, which are good against AT rifles. Pretty good, pretty fucking good. Armor is 80 millimeters at the most. It's also flat at the front. It's not as good as a Panther, but overall, it's a very nice medium like workhorse tank that you can rely on as Germany if you need it. Like if you need to clutch it. The Aus J, it's a bit cheaper because it doesn't have a turret motor, so the turret is hand cranked, meaning it's a lot slower. So I don't really recommend it. You're cheaping it out on something that could potentially save your like this tank or another tank, and yeah. Um, so yeah, Panzer IV Aus H is definitely a lot better than this. So yeah, highly recommend it. Okay, dismiss. And yeah, we're almost to 5,000. So again, individually they're not a lot. They don't really sell for much. But when you get like four or five or six or almost a dozen tanks, then that's a pretty good price that you're gonna get in total from there. For them for selling them. The Panther, I've thought about selling it, but again, the gun really is the reason why I'm keeping it. And the other thing is that it's 30 points, so I can just stick it in here with another two jumbos. So the jumbos again can sandwich it from the side, so the weak side armor is not such a big issue when I have two jumbos just flanking it and providing additional side armor protection. So yeah. Uh, this is it really. It's a new format again that I'm trying. Well, I'm a bit sick. Just to explain Valor mod because I really like this mod. I uh I play with more realistic sounds before. The additional units, I modded them as well. But this mod really sells it to me. The game. This just Gates of Hell just has limitless potential. I'm also gonna make an Iron Sights mod for it, using Hell of Lucis Iron Sights. Postscriptum, Red Orchestra 2, maybe even like basically Iron Sights. First person Iron Sights mode for infantry, because I'm really missing that. But the point is that the modding potential of this game is basically limitless. You can do anything and everything with it. You can make an anime mod for it. Like, well, people have done that with Company of Heroes, but unlike in Company of Heroes, you can import, edit models here, tank models, infantry models, skins. You can do whatever you want with this game. It's like clay. You can mold it into anything and everything basically. You can use Star Wars, Warhammer, Vietnam, Cold War, World War I, whatever you name it, you can fucking do it. This game is just why I really love it, and no other game can really allow me to make it into code basically. Company of Heroes, like this can right now. So yeah, Code 2. I really wish it had this modding potential, but I guess money is more important to some people. Anyway, that's about it for me right now. So see you guys next time. Take care.